I came to Atlanta on business, but everything went wrong from the very first minutes. My flight was delayed, my luggage got lost, and my suitcase disappeared forever at the airport. I met a stranger, a tall man in a leather jacket who offered me a ride. I refused. But he insisted, saying I looked tired and hungry. Funny enough, right after that, my taxi broke down, and he turned out to be my only option. I still had no idea this was the start of the craziest adventure of my life. We drove to a strange warehouse on the outskirts of the city. He said he knew the local crew and would try to arrange alternative lodging for me. I agreed. The evening was cold, and there was no one on the street. But the entrance to the warehouse was locked through another door, and suddenly a guy with a knife attacked me. Surprisingly, the leather-jacketed stranger stood in front of the attacker, distracted him, and rushed in with fists flying. The leather guy turned out to be not just a homeless man, but a former street fighter. At that moment, my first thought was, did I just step into some gangster Expendables? It turned out the attack was part of a shady deal. A couple of minutes later, a car arrived, and they loaded me and the leather guy into it. He introduced himself as Den, uniforms. Masked faces, we drove to an abandoned pier. There, hundreds of suitcases filled with contraband stamps, deals, and debts were shown, like someone was turning Atlanta into a den of the ocean mafia. Then they forced us to dump the contents of the bags onto the floor. My empty suitcase, zero interest. But then whispered, listen, there's a GPS tag inside you. That's the sign. I didn't understand much, but got the main thing, hurry. When the guards got distracted, Den said hastily, row the boat across the canal, I'll cover you. I ran, jumped into a boat. The motor worked. Under the spray, I slipped away from the warehouse-covered shore. I was on the canal. In the dark water, I could see the lights of Atlanta far away. On the shore behind me, the guards' flashlight beams flashed. They were shooting into the water. I sat paralyzed in the boat, catching my breath, heart pounding like crazy. After about 10 minutes, I reached the opposite shore and hid in the bushes. Helicopters flew overhead. Honestly, I thought, that's it, I'm done for. But at dawn, I found my suitcase left under a tree, as if someone had brought it. Inside were documents, money, and a map marking a safe house. There was a note from Den. If you're alive, go there. Was the writing in blood? I couldn't tell, but life gave me a second chance. I made it to the marked house and was accepted as part of a local movement, people who help those in trouble. It turned out Den was a runaway special agent trying to expose a large smuggling network, but had lost favor with his superiors. He deliberately led me there to divert law enforcement's attention. I shared my story on Reddit, wrote all the details, and soon got thousands of comments. Some said it sounded like a scene from Hollywood. Now I live in a quiet suburb, gave interviews to journalists about my story, and never take rides from strangers again. I am still incredibly grateful to Dan, and yes, telling this. I imagine the YouTube viewers look, did this really happen?